Welcome to the fastest 30 minutes in football. Missouri boycotters are going to play today. And Georgia-Auburn, the oldest rivalry in the Deep South, who's going to play quarterback? Plus, injuries, fantasy football, and Jeffrey the Edge Schechter is picking against the spread.
Play to Win is being brought to you by Toyota, the Georgia Lottery, and John Foy and Associates. Welcome to Play to Win with former Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith, Fantasy Football League previews with Adam Brown, game analysis with Nikki Williams, Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Edge Schechter, medical and injury update with Dr. Andrew Lalage, and your host, Atlanta sports veteran Bob Neal. Today's SEC report is being brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
We welcome you to the show. Well, our former All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith is off today, so we went to a former All-Pro offensive tackle. We brought the other side of the line of scrimmage in today. Bob Whitfield, it's great to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Thanks for being back. And, of course, Jeffrey and Nikki. And let's get started right now with our SEC report. And the first thing we do every week is get you up to date on whom's playing whom, as my English teacher would say. Florida, South Carolina looks like a pretty good game. North Texas, wow. They'll have a long day at Tennessee. Alabama, Mississippi State. A lot of people say that'll be iffy. This is what Jeffrey has to say about it. Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Missouri, as I said. Missouri is going to play. BYU plays at Missouri. Remember, they had said they were going to boycott due to the protest at the Missouri campus. But after the resignation of the president and the chancellor, the University of Missouri football team will be playing the game against BYU on Saturday. And now, also, it's time for the college football playoff poll. This is the committee that decides who will finally be the Final Four. If they were to start today, it'd be Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. A lot of people have issues with that. And one of the things you'll notice in the top 10 is LSU has dropped all the way from 2 down to number 9. And we're going to start with LSU as we talk about the LSU Tigers. Arkansas goes to Baton Rouge, a night game. That'll be tough, but Arkansas is coming off a win. What do you think about LSU bouncing back after the Alabama debacle?
Well, definitely, Bob. You got to get your offensive line and your running back going. 19 carries, 31 yards for Fournette. That's not good enough. So you need to get your offensive line running the ball. Get your running back hot again.
All right. And, Nikki, the quarterback, Brandon Allen, had a slow start and a lot of difficulties, but playing better now.
I know. And I never thought I'd hear not good enough and Leonard Fournette in the same sentence, by the way. But you have the credibility to say it. That's fine. You know, no one believed, and they're having their aha moment right now over at Arkansas because they went 1-4 at the start of the season. Hometown guy, Brandon Allen, his truck was set on fire. They egged him. They vandalized his home. No one believed in what they were trying to pull off. And now they've won their last 3 games. He's second in the conference in passing, and I think he's just leaving egg on everybody else now.
That's it, and it's really interesting because Arkansas going to LSU, a night game, it'll be tough, but everybody's not writing LSU in as a win just yet. We'll see what Jeffrey has to. What do you think? But just give a taste of it. What do you think with LSU? Give us a taste. You're going to pick it in a minute, but
Arkansas beat their brains in last year.
Yeah, good point. So look out.
LSU couldn't even move the ball against them.
You can say more in 3 words than I can say in, say, 4 or 5 pages. All right. Want to talk now about the situation at Missouri. You've heard the whole story. We're not going to go into all of that again, but some racial protest on the campus of Missouri. The African-American students saying they weren't being treated right, particularly by the upper echelon, the president, chancellor. They resigned. The Missouri football team had said they were going to boycott. First, it was the African-American students, then the entire team, and Gary Pinkel joined in. So we asked Gary Pinkel just exactly what happened there and what was the status of the boycott by the football team.
I don't think really at the time the game's important. We wanted to play the football game, but it was still about this young man. And, you know, at the time, Saturday, Sunday, it's not about football. It had nothing to do with football. It's about my players need my support, and I'm going to support them. And we knew it would play out one way or the other. We had no idea how it was going to go, and it just happened to go the way it did.
All right, there's a statement from Gary Pinkel. They are playing. BYU comes to Columbia. And now it's time for our college showdown of the week. And I got to tell you, this is going to be a good one. Brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. It is Alabama at Mississippi State. I'm going to go right to you, Bob Whitfield. How do you see this one? Alabama, is this any way a letdown game for them?
Well, definitely not let down for that front seven. That front seven is playing some great football. So when you can shut down an LSU running attack and then come back and you're in the playoff situation for college football, they're eating people alive. Look for Alabama to win big.
All right, now they're going to have to stop Dak Prescott, who's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the country, certainly in the SEC. What about Dak and his effect on this game?
Lucky for Mississippi, they have no offense, so they live and die by Dak. This is going to be his moment to have the biggest game possible, through the air, on the ground, over the mountain, through the woods. This is all about Dak. And you're talking about implications over here. He's got some too. He can taste that Heisman talk on his lips. So he wants to eat them too. He wants that Heisman.
All right, there you go, Jeffrey. I mean, this is good. I like this. Jeffrey, who's picking the game? Here it is. It is at Mississippi State.
Upset alert. I love Mississippi State with the points. I think they could win this game straight up. Alabama is beatable.
All right, could be a close game. You know, Mississippi State is a top 20 defense, so it could be closer than a lot of people think. That's what Jeffrey says. We'll come back in just a moment, and we'll talk about the hometown team report, the Bulldogs and the Tigers.
Toyotathon is back with a season full of holiday treats.
Like 0% APR financing on the reliable Camry. Did you know 90% of Camrys sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today? But hurry, our biggest event of the year won't last long. Right now at the Toyotathon sales event, get a low 0% APR for 60 months plus $500 holiday bonus cash on a new 2016 Toyota Camry. That's just 0% APR.
Make the holidays happier at Toyotathon.
Toyota, let's go places.
American owned, family operated. Since 1829. No bull. Just lager. From America's oldest brewery, Yingling. If you've been injured, if you or a loved one have been a victim, if you've suffered, get the upper hand. Get the strong arm.
Protect your rights and get the lawyer who fights.
It's back. Nissan's holiday event, now with special Black Friday offers.
Right now, save up to $1,000 bonus cash on top of existing offers on select models. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
Hometown Team Report is being brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, bringing a higher order of pizza to Atlanta for 40 years.
Welcome to Hometown Team Report. Two hometown teams, really, Georgia and Auburn, both in this Atlanta area. And in the Georgia area, it's the oldest rivalry in the South between Georgia and Auburn. And it's a story of quarterbacks, particularly at Auburn. We don't know who's going to play. Will it be Sean White, who was playing well, then he got hurt. Jeremy Johnson, who wasn't playing well, stepped in and did so. So we thought we'd go to Gus Malzahn and have him talk about the quarterbacks.
You know, like I said, he went through a storm the first part of the season, and that's extremely tough on a quarterback. And you know, he hung in the battle. He practiced well, like I had talked about, for 2 or 3 weeks, and he was prepared to start against Ole Miss. And you know, then Sean was able to go, and then he bounced back the next week and had another good practice, and then he seized the moment, you know, on the road. And so I know that gives him confidence moving forward.
And Gus is talking about Jeremy Johnson, but he still won't say who's going to start. I kind of gathered from that it might be Jeremy Johnson. Bob, let's talk about that Auburn offense.
Well, definitely. It's like the ghost of Cam Newton coming back. You know, it's just like when you get a good play from the quarterback, you need that to rally your team to win. So when you got the quarterback rushing the ball and then doing play action passing, setting it up deep, it sets Auburn up to win.
All right, let's talk about the other side of the ball for Auburn. Their defense has been playing pretty well.
Where has this Auburn been all season long?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming off of their best defensive performance of the season easily. They held the Aggies to just 10 points, a little over 300 yards of offense, and they forced 3 interceptions. So they're cooking with grease now over there. I think it's definitely got to do with the return of Carl Lawson to their D-line.
Cooking with grease reminds me of my grandma. She always cooked with grease. I liked it. Not good for you, though. All right, let's talk about the Georgia side of the ball and the Georgia offense.
Well, Georgia, I was telling Nikki earlier, it's like, since Nick Chubb went down, I was like, I don't know what they're going to do, but they can get reestablished with the O-line, setting the tone, calming that team down, chunking in the trenches, big steps, boom.
Okay, if they're chunking and what he said, then Sony Michel may have some opportunities because Auburn's had a little bit of trouble with backs who can get out on the edge in space.
Yeah, they have a hard time with space. It's all about Sony Michel and that space. And I don't know what's going on right now with this wild dog offense that they've got going, but it could give the Tigers fits because they're going to have to figure out between Sony Michel and Terry Godwin who's going to get the ball.
And it may not matter who's going to be quarterback. Bryce Ramsey might even play in the game,
I'm
according to Mark Richt.
But
Grayson Lambert is starting. You could be the quarterback. I know this. You have better moves. No question about it. That's as far as I'm going there. All right, who's going to win this game? Georgia at Auburn.
Auburn's coming on. They're playing like the team they were supposed to be. Georgia did beat Kentucky last week. Big deal. Auburn will kill them. Give the 2.
Auburn will kill them from Jeffrey the Edge. Okay, we're going to come back in just a moment. We're going to talk fantasy football. Later, the NFL Falcons on a bye week. We know they won't be turning the ball over this week. And, of course, Jeffrey the Edge with more picks. Stay with us on Playing to Win.
The Wizard, can you make me real so I can eat real mellow mushroom pizza instead of cartoon pizza?
Stand back. Here we go. Alakazam! Wiggity stickity poof!
I'm still a cartoon.
Then that'd be a no.
Everyone wants real mellow mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness.
Wiggity stickity poof.
Mellow mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
It's back. Nissan's holiday event, now with special Black Friday offers.
Right now, save up to $1,000 bonus cash on top of existing offers on select models. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
With a 100% electric Nissan Leaf, what will you do? How far will you go? How much will you see? Electrify the world. Now with a class-leading 107 miles on a charge, the Nissan Leaf is the best-selling electric car in America.
Today's Fantasy Report is being brought to you by ST Services. Home comfort or plumbing issues? We can fix that.
Time for fantasy football. Who's hot and who's cold? With our guru, Adam Brown.
Hey, Bob, what's up?
And I noticed that you've been drooling over a particular game. How does that relate to fantasy football?
No one in the world would think that New Orleans and Washington would be a game to drool over, but fantasy owners drool over it. Here's the reason why. The last 2 weeks, Drew Brees has thrown 10 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, New Orleans has given up 10 touchdown passes.
Tons of points.
Tons of points. The first to 50. That's what we're calling this game, the first to 50 game.
All right, let's get started with the quarterbacks. There you go.
That's the first to 50 game. All right, let's go to running backs. And at running backs, we got DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray is playing against a Miami defense that gave up 222 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. I like him a lot. He'll catch the ball in the backfield in your PPR leagues. Like him a lot this week. Receivers, Allen Robinson. We all know about the top 4 guys on this board, but look at Allen Robinson with 18 receptions the last 3 weeks. And the Ravens defense, not good at all, giving up 7 touchdowns the last 3 weeks.
All right, let's go now to the weekly 10, the mid-level and low-level buys, the sale items for your weekly leagues. What do you got?
We see Flacco, we see Jones, but let's look at James Starks. He's the #1 running back for the Green Bay Packers on the depth chart now, playing against a terrible Detroit defense. I like him a lot. And then on the second page here, we look at Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed is playing against that New Orleans defense, and New Orleans defense gave up 153 yards and 3 touchdowns to Delaney Walker last week. We got to love him. But let's look at the 2 defenses. We don't talk about them enough. Carolina, 3 straight weeks with double-digit points, and the Denver Broncos. They've already played Kansas City, scored 26 fantasy points against Kansas City. They're playing against them again and scored a defensive touchdown last time. I love Denver this week.
Great job.
Thanks.
As usual.
Good luck, everyone.
And now, I want to remind you how you can also be a winner. That's why we call it Play to Win. Go to Red Pepper Taqueria for our You Be the Experts Challenge. Go to playingtowin.tv. Pick the games, college and NFL. Win $100 for first place, $50 gift certificate for second place. Playingtowin.tv. We'll be back with more on the NFL right after this.
Bad pipes, clogs, broken water heater? We can fix that. ST's Plumbing Services, your man for all seasons since 1949, will make your plumbing problems disappear. From pesky pipes to new water heaters, we can fix that.
Be ready to winter with Infinity. Now through January 4th, lease the Infinity Q50 for $309 a month. Visit your Atlanta area Infinity retailer.
Heating system blowing cold air? We can fix that. Turn to the experts at Carrier and ST Services. We've been installing and repairing heating and air systems in Atlanta for 66 years. Save energy and money with a dual fuel system from ST's. Need to get warm? We can fix that.
It's huge, and it's here now. The Black Friday sales event blockbuster at Mall of Georgia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get a 2016 Jeep Cherokee Sport for only $19,414 or $245 a month. Choose a Chrysler 200 for just $19,039 or pay just $239 a month. And take $12,000 off MSRP on a Ram 1500 Express or pay only $339 a month. Find Black Friday pricing now at Mall of Georgia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Online anytime at yourdodge.com.
Today's NFL report is being brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
All right, time to talk NFL. Falcons are on a bye week this week. And by the way, I just heard right here, yes, thank you. Okay, that is Matt Ryan and Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, are in couples counseling. So we'll see how that works out. They're not been on the same page. Falcons trying to iron it up before they take on the Colts at the Dome next week. All right, let's take a look at the NFC South standings. They're being dominated by the Panthers. I don't know, is anybody going to beat the Panthers? Bob Whitfield has an opinion on that in a moment. But the Falcons are 6-3. However, they're playing badly right now. New Orleans had a chance to be in the mix until they lost last week, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3-5. So bye week, Bob Whitfield, former Falcon player, you know all about bye weeks and how to get ready in the NFL. What do the Falcons need to do besides the couples counseling?
Well, it's beyond couples. They need to take the whole team. Yeah, maybe it's some Himalayan sweat lodge that they need to get their mojo back. I don't know what it is, but the Falcons started hot and they have fizzled. But Julio's still out there chugging along, so as long as Julio's there, if the offensive line can start picking up some of these blitzes, because the 49ers exposed this offensive line with just some extra blitzes, if they can do that, I think they can come out this bye week woosad, ready to win.
Woosad, Himalayan Sweat Lodge. Okay, that's from Bob Whitfield. By the way, it's a mid-season, so we thought we'd go to our 68 seconds with 680. By the way, 680 is a co-host of the show here. We love their cooperation with us. We're going to Chris Domino now to give the Falcons mid-term grades.
Hey, Bob, look, it's a question that everybody's asking because it's a good question. What do you say about the Atlanta Falcons? Do what we like to do. Put a grade on it. Okay, 6 wins is the same amount they had last year. Well, that means you're looking at a B+, if not better, right? Problem is there's 7 left, and the way they're ticking with the arrow going down, I'm not so sure I want to play the B+ game. It's the what have you done for me lately world. What they've done in the last month is not play as good a football as they did in the first month of the season. So I'm going to pull back for that. I think the Falcons right now are a B. C+ if I really start to think about what happened in San Francisco. But I'll tick it up at least a little bit for body of work. Here's what I do know. Whatever the grade is now, it's going to change. You never stay the same in anything, certainly not in the NFL. You get better or you get worse. They're on a downtick. They've got to figure this out because the playoffs now become the 5-0 team that didn't make the postseason. That's a list you don't want to be on. They're not playing good enough football, and I do think it maddens me to think that they lost out in San Francisco with everything they had going for them. That was an easy road win until it wasn't. The Atlanta Falcons got to play better football because right now, if you're a C+ or a B, it's not going to be good enough at the end of December.
All right, there's Chris Domino. He says it's not going to be good enough. All right, let me go to you. What about a grade, Nikki, midway through?
E. Easy schedule up until now. E.
And they're hit at E, and they're 6-3. So I think the next part of the schedule will be H for hard. I'm going to give them an H there.
T for tough.
All right, now Jeffrey, I want you to do something that fits right in with what you bring to the show, and that is an over/under. And the over/under is Falcons win total over/under, which of course will answer the question whether they make the playoffs as a wild card or not.
Well, they're not going to make the playoffs as a wild card. Remember this is a rebuilding year. Got off to a good start because of a weak schedule, injuries on other teams. They got 6 wins now. They just lost to the worst team in football last week. 8, possibly 9. That's as far as it goes.
Wow. Remember, next when they play at home next week, Falcons will have the Colts without Andrew Luck, who had the abdominal injury. He'll be out 2 to 6 weeks. Matt Hasselbeck will be at the quarterback. What do you think about the over/under in terms of wins?
Well, he's definitely wrong about the Panthers. They will beat the Panthers. It's probably when Cam Newton is sitting down in December, the second time after the Panthers have clinched the NFC South.
That could be.
But the Falcons will beat the Panthers.
All right. It was said here. We have it on videotape. We'll roll it back later.
That's
All right.
because I'm sitting in between you guys.
Our showdown of the week's Panthers-Titans. What do you think about that game? The Panthers, how strong are they going to be going out?
Well, the Panthers are pulling out the wins, but if you look at the last couple of wins that they've got, they were just gassed at crunch time. The defense was pushed to the limit. They need to follow their ABCs, always be closing. They're having a hard time with that, but they're getting the win.
All right, we're going to come back in just a moment, and Jeffrey's going to pick the game in the lightning round. Stay with us.
It's back. Nissan's holiday event, now with special Black Friday offers.
Right now, save up to $1,000 bonus cash on top of existing offers on select models. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
Always set a place at the dinner table for good manners. Stay seated, napkin on your lap, and elbows at your sides. And remember, mealtime is for nourishment, nothing more.
Why can't I have a slice of yours?
You're a cartoon. You can only have cartoon pizza.
It's not fair.
Look, this pie is 100% real, and you're colored ink. It's physics, man.
Well, can you buy me a beer?
I can buy you a cartoon beer. Are you single?
It's right.
Everyone wants real mellow mushroom pizza because our pies use premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggies, and spring water dough baked with wheat goodness. Mellow mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
Toyotathon, Toyotathon, Toyotathon rocks with great big deals on a new set of wheels. Camry, Prius, RAV4 with 0% financing for you.
Right now at the Toyotathon sales event, get a low 0% APR for 60 months plus $500 holiday bonus cash on a new 2015 Toyota RAV4. That's just 0% APR.
It's our biggest and bestest event of the year. That's why Toyotathon rocks.
Toyota, let's go places.
Today's Player Medical and Injury Report is being brought to you by John Foy & Associates. Personal injury law. Get the strong arm.
Joined now by Dr. A for our player medical report. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. We got a whole lot to talk about, don't we?
And you've changed up a little bit the way we're presenting this, and I think you'll find these are projections on performance of players who are injured. I think you'll find it a lot more interesting and easy to understand.
Yeah, let's take a look at charts. Everyone loves charts, right? So Teddy Bridgewater, level 1 concussion, he was cleared, stays at low risk. Allen Hurns, left foot sprain. Wide receivers, left foot sprain, really hurts them, so he's downgraded to a B-. Latavius Murray, he's at 60%. Running backs with shoulder injuries also are very negatively affected. Ben Roethlisberger, so he's at a C+. Let's take a look at his report card. He has a midfoot sprain. The team is saying that he may come back in 2 weeks. Now he may come back this week. That's a sign of that it's a lot worse than they're letting on. He's at a C+, staying at moderate risk 60%. Let's go to LaShawn McCoy at C+, second hamstring strain in the same year. Very negative impact. Malcolm Floyd at a C grade. Wide receivers that want to play with a labral injury, it's a big no-no. Andrew Luck, organ injuries. They don't come back properly after 6 weeks. It takes a year, okay? Eddie Lacy, D+, groin injury for a running back. And DeAngelo Williams at D+ with a midfoot sprain. Now, Dion Lewis, let's talk about him. He had an undisclosed abdominal injury, and so we downgraded him to a B-. And then the next week, he tore his ACL. So math works, kids.
It does.
You got to listen to the algorithm.
Watch the algorithms. That's going to be our word of the day, algorithms. This is Dr. A, Player Medical Report, creator of InsideInjuries.com.
You're going to deny everything, and if you're lying through...
When you're hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company will try anything to deny your claim.
Deny, deny, deny. Whatever it takes, we're not paying a dime.
They'll stop at nothing until they run into the strong arm.
Don't let the insurance company decide what you deserve. Call me now. I'll fight so you don't have to.
Get the upper hand. Get the strong arm. Call attorney John Foy and Associates today.
It's back. It's Nissan's holiday event, now with special Black Friday offers.
Right now, save up to $1,000 bonus cash on top of existing offers on select models. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
Lightning round time. That means Jeffrey the Ed Schechter. Let's start with colleges.
You have to give South Carolina credit. They could have quit. They didn't. Florida has a hard time scoring. I like South Carolina at home with the points.
Minnesota, Iowa.
Minnesota's a rough, tough team. They come to play. They're going to give Iowa a game.
You like Oklahoma, too.
Look out for Oklahoma. Their time to shine. Unfortunately, they lost to a bad Texas team, but look out for them.
All right, let's go to the National Football League and see what you think. You like the Dallas Cowboys, and they're slumping. But you still like them.
I think they can shut down Tampa, take the one with Dallas. Right now, Carolina's the best team in the NFC. They should kill Tennessee, even though the game's in Tennessee. 5 in a row so far with Minnesota. I say every week they're solid. I love the Vikings. Take the 3. You know the Raiders are coming on.
And the bonus.
The bonus. Arizona +3 at Seattle. I like Arizona. Seattle has a hard time scoring.
You're taking the Falcons, right? It's a bye week. Or are you taking bye and the points?
Can't lose.
Can't lose, can't lose, can't lose. All right, thanks a lot, by the way, to Bob Whitfield for being here. Chuck Smith, our All-Pro defensive lineman's off, so we bring in an All-Pro offensive lineman, and Bob Whitfield, thanks again. Great time. We'll have him back again. We got to get him back together with Chuck here. These two guys used to do this in practice for the Atlanta Falcons, offensive, defensive. So we'll see you next week. And by the way, be sure to go to playingtowin.tv. See the show again. Watch it a whole lot of times. We'll see you next week.
Play to Win has been brought to you by the Southeastern Nissan dealers,
Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers,
and SD Services.